Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary, and today's video is going to be some 5-star predictions.
I should've told you that I loved you one more time.
So I've actually never filmed a video like this before. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Mary, what's up? I like to read. But if you've been around before, then you probably know that I read a lot of backlists, and I don't read new releases all that frequently. I'm not a book reviewer like a lot of people on BookTube. I just read books. I do technically write reviews on my Instagram and on Goodreads, but they're not paid reviews. They're not sponsored reviews. I don't get ARCs. I just like to read and like to talk about what I've read. I also don't really keep up with new releases. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that what is typically broadcast is YA. So YA and fantasy are typically the genres that you see a lot of hype about here on BookTube, on Bookstagram, and also just from publishers. I guess that's what sells. I don't work in publishing. I don't really know, but I don't always love YA and YA fantasy. That's not like the bulk of what I read. So for that reason, I'm not always that interested in new releases that are being hyped. But I did just want to come on here and mention 5 books that are recent releases or upcoming releases that I'm really interested in reading and that I think I will give 5 stars to. The first book that I wanted to talk about is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And I'm sure you've heard about this book. I can't remember if it won or if it was just nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards last year. I think it did win. But this book follows a woman who is struggling with her mental health, and she attempts to commit suicide. And when she does this, she goes to a library, the Midnight Library, and inside of this library are thousands of volumes of her life if she had made different choices. So it allows her to go through and read sort of what would have happened to her if she had chosen different things, and allows her to decide whether or not she really does believe that she has made the wrong choices in life. And it lets her reckon with her regrets, I guess. And this as a concept is fascinating to me. And I know Emily Fox from Books with Emily Fox loved this book and raved about it, and I really trust her reviews. And so this book I do think I would give 5 stars to if I read it, and I do hope to get to it in 2021. The second book that I think I would give 5 stars to that came out in, I think, September of 2020 is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. It's set in a magic school called the Scholomance, and there are no teachers, there's no real courses, and the whole point of the school is to learn magic so you can survive. And in order to do this, you have to make alliances. I don't really know much more about it than that, but I do know that not a lot of people survive this school, and we're following Elle, who is trying to figure out the secrets that this school holds. And I think she makes an alliance at the beginning of the book, because before that point she's been trying to do it by herself. I have heard actually mixed reviews of this one, but I know I love Naomi Novik's writing style. Spinning Silver was one of my favorite books of 2020 that I read, which is a standalone fantasy by Naomi Novik. And I also grew up with Harry Potter, so I love the magic school setting. And so it is something that really does excite me and interest me. And I do think that because I like the writing style and because I like a lot of the themes that are discussed, if it goes sort of the way that I'm thinking it will go, I do think I would give that book 5 stars as well. Switching gears again from YA fantasy to an adult literary fiction, We Can Only Save Ourselves by Alison Wisdom actually just came out. I'm filming this on Friday, February 5th, and it came out earlier this week on February 2nd, I believe. Yes. I cannot wait to read this book. It's described as The Virgin Suicides meets The Girls. I read The Virgin Suicides a long time ago in high school, but I read The Girls last year, and I really enjoyed both of those books. So from what I understand, this is about a young woman who gets drawn into a cult, and the story is partially told through her lens as she's getting drawn to this cult and going to live in this bungalow and what her life in the cult is like. And it's also partially told from the point of view of her mother and people in her town that are sort of left behind and having to deal with the wake of her radicalization and her disappearance. I think cults are fascinating. It's a fascinating subject matter to me. It's one of my favorite tropes in horror films as well as in books, and just one of my favorite things to read about and learn more about. I just think it's so interesting the way that the human mind sort of works and can be radicalized. It's also very scary. But this book does sound amazing. And like I said, I enjoy both of the books that it has been compared to. So I'm very excited to finally pick this one up, and I do think I would give it 5 stars as well. Completely switching genres to an adult romance, The Heart Principle by Helen Huang comes out later in 2021, I believe in summer at some point, late summer maybe. And this is the 3rd book in the Kiss Quotient series of standalones. I have only read The Bride Test, but I gave it 5 stars. It was one of my favorite books of 2020 as well. All of Helen Huang's books are adult romances that follow someone who has autism spectrum disorder, and it deals with different aspects of ASD in their lives and gives them a little bit of romance. It's also all Vietnamese American characters, so it deals with that aspect of things. And it's The Bride Test at least had a good balance, in my opinion, of like relationship building and smut, and I just can't wait to see what else Helen Huang puts out. I do need to read The Kiss Quotient still, but I do plan on doing that sometime before The Heart Principle comes out so that I can read The Heart Principle and get the whole thing, the whole series, if you will, packaged up in a little bow. But I am so excited for this one. Yeah, like I said, The Bride Test was one of my favorite books of last year, and it's the book that made me realize that perhaps I do actually like romance. The last book I wanted to mention today as a 5-star prediction for me is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This book comes out in May of this year, May 4th. Sorry, I just had a coughing fit, so I think my throat's feeling a little, yeah, like there's something stuck in it. That's so weird. But this is a YA sci-fi following 2 sisters, and I believe it's set in a futuristic world where one of them is like crash landed on an island of some sort, and it sounds like it's been described as Lost with a satisfying ending. I never finished the TV show Lost, but I was obsessed with it. My family, it was the show that we all watched together once Alias was off the air. But I loved Lost. I thought it was so interesting. And it's supposed to be like a very twisty, page-turnery type of book. And I love a sci-fi element. So I'm really excited. I also love books about family relationships and strained familial relationships. And it sounds like this has all of those things. But yes, I'm so excited to read this one as well. And those are the 5 books that I think I will give 5 stars to that I mentioned in this video. I think this video was probably pretty short because I haven't read any of these books and some of them aren't even out yet. I don't really have a lot to go on for what they're about. I just wanted to let you guys know things that I look for in new releases, but I wanted to sort of go through things that I look for in a new release. So authors that I've read from before, genre or tropes that I know I enjoy, and just especially with things that are like recent releases that I'm interested in and I want to know if it's worth my time to pick up. I do look at reviews from people who I tend to agree with them on opinions. So, or honestly, even if you have a book reviewer who you have the opposite tastes as them, if they don't like something, that's a pretty good indication that you will like something. The other thing that I like to look for in my book reviewers, or when I'm reading through reviews or listening to reviews or watching videos on books, etc., I like to hear why the book reviewer liked certain things and what they didn't like and what they did like about the book, because that lets me know, okay, well, I'm not a super big fan of a lot of time jumps in a book, so if this reviewer says that that happened a lot and was a little confusing and you had to really pay attention to it, it's probably not going to be a book that holds my attention. Stuff like that. But I hope this has been helpful for you. Let me know in the comments down below what types of things you look for when you're trying to pick out books that you haven't heard a lot about. And also, let me know if you have read any of these books and enjoyed them, or if you are also looking forward to them, and what you think that you will give 5 stars. That is coming out soon, or that has been recently released. But that is going to be it for today's video for me, and I hope you guys are having a great week. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!
I should've told you that I loved you.